something about being a lady that makes you feel like a lady.
Mm-hmm.
So I do. I mean, I don't knock anybody else who doesn't, but I love gender roles. I like to treat my man like a man, do all the fine things for my guy. I take pride in that. So, and when it comes to, the garbage and everything, as long as it's one of those little apartment bags, I don't mind. Like, okay, I'll put that by the, but that heavy duty black bag, nah, it's
The hefty. Do you ladies believe in like gender roles in relationships? Like I cook, I clean, he pays it. Like, is there gender roles, or do you believe that? Because like for me personally, I do to a degree. Like I just feel like if I'm married, I don't want to take out the trash. There's just certain things that I feel like I should do as a woman, and there's certain things that I believe that a man should do as the man of the household. So how do you ladies feel about that? We can start off with Pretty Hustle this time. Let's shake it up a bit. I mean, I had to put you on the spot.
I love that question. For me, like I agree. I don't feel like I should take out a trash if there's a man in my life. Especially in the house. Gender roles, like for me, I'm an entrepreneur, so I do believe you should make your own money. I'm not 100% housewife, but I'm at a cross between I do want my husband to provide, if that makes sense. I want to be able to focus on my business and not have to worry about, because a lot of times we don't push our goals because we're worried about bills and different things. And that's where that provider comes in at. Someone who can give you that peace of mind of knowing, baby, do what makes you happy. I got your back. So I feel like if there's a man in my life, you have to give me that piece of security. So when it comes to gender roles, that's how I feel. Now, I feel like a man can cook. I can cook. When it comes to the cooking and cleaning, I feel like I would like to have a man that's domesticated as well. But that trash, it's a no for me. Unless I'm by myself, like a single woman, I'm going to take my trash. I'm not going to let it climb up the wall. But if I'm with a man and he's in my face, it's not happening, cat. Or you got to get out. Just
I feel you on that. Shan, how do you feel about it?
Yet I believe absolutely in gender roles. I mean, it's just something about being a lady that makes you feel like a lady.
Mm-hmm.
So I do. I mean, I don't knock anybody else who doesn't, but I love gender roles. I like to treat my man like a man, do all the fine things for my guy. I take pride in that. So, and when it comes to, the garbage and everything, as long as it's one of those little apartment bags, I don't mind. Like, okay, I'll put that by the, but that heavy duty black bag, nah, it's
The hefty.
but yeah, I like doing female, when I have to do something that's normally for a man, I don't feel good doing it. But if it's something, that like taking care of the house, making our house a home, those are the things I take pride in doing. So I do think I believe in female, their gender roles. I do.
All right, let's take it up to Miss Taken. Are you,
Don't ask
you're
them.
not ready.
Don't ask them.
I gotta know because you actually are married, so I would like to know, like, if you don't mind sharing.
Well, again, like I said, each relationship is different. What each partner, looks for in their relationship is different. I would say that it's a cross for me in our household. So that's why I say, like with gender roles, do I agree with it? I agree with whatever works for your household. And the reason I say that is because there's a lot that I do in my house that many would say it's a masculine role. But
Mistaken be building shit. Like she be
yeah,
building houses now.
Listen, there's no judgment. It's how it works in your
right.
relationship.
And
I'm
that's
just
what I
curious
feel
for
like.
you. So,
And I enjoy doing that. So he gives me my space to go ahead and do that. So that's not an issue. And I can appreciate that. Goes back to what I was saying in terms of a core value is truly accepting a person for who they are and allow them to be that in your relationship. because he's not intimidated at all. Like, it is not a knock on his masculinity at all, like that I do things like that. But when it comes to like other things, there is an expectation for him. Like, he knows that he wanted a woman that can cook. And so even though I'm building stuff on this end, I'm throwing it down in the kitchen on the other end. You know what I'm saying? So, but he also cooks. He also helps with doing dishes. He also helps with doing laundry. So there are a lot of shared responsibilities that we have. So I can't really say specifically, is there something that he does in a house exclusively because he's a man? I think the only thing I can think of is trash, taking out the garbage would be the only thing. But even then, we kind of share. He's the one that actually takes it out of the house and put it into the big garbage can. But in the household itself, like when it's time to gather all the garbages up to bring in on Sunday, to put out on the curb, I will help him empty the upstairs, little, trash cans and put them in a bigger garbage bag, and he takes them downstairs. And when he takes it out, I'll put the garbage bag back into the garbage can. So it is still kind of a shared responsibility. So that's why I say whatever, works in your household, because there's a lot of stuff that I know men would consider a masculine role, but he allows me to do that because those are the kind of things I was doing before I met him. So
I think that's pretty cool. I mean, can you assemble a dresser? Like, you sound like Superwoman. I can throw down in the
She work
kitchen
at
and I can build a house. Like,
I have
at this point, I feel like you're just flexing.
like I be putting up backsplash, like doing floor tile.
What?
I yeah. It's just a lot of stuff because I watch, HGTV, and I get creative like in the summers, and I'm like, oh, okay, I lay down flooring, like all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, let's slide it over to Ms. Enon.
Yeah, I think I love this question because absolutely believe in gender roles, absolutely ascribe to them. Huge fan of it. I think to what Miss Tegan said though, people define that differently. People define femininity differently. They define masculinity differently. What the roles for each genders are, what are shared responsibilities are different. And I think that's what makes finding your partner challenging, is finding somebody whose definitions line up with yours. Um, you know, I love that Mistaken has a husband who feels affirmed in his masculinity. She feels affirmed in her femininity, in everything that she does, and that he's not threatened by that at all. That doesn't go for every man, right? And that definition or the willingness to want to do those things, it doesn't go for every woman either. Um, I'm a little bit more traditional, more like Shan, but I think the kind of the small details that people tend to bicker about, those are really the questions that you want to pull out in that dating process when you're trying to figure out if this is your person or not, um, to help make that transition a whole lot smoother. Of like, what, when we talk about gender roles, what pops into your head? What is a woman's role to you? And then when that question is answered, does that align with what my definition of what a woman's role is, what a man's role is in those gender roles?